Hello and welcome back to a special episode of Let's React.
Very special.
Today we're going to be interviewing
none other than Jessie Flower, voice of the queen herself, TOPH BEIFONG.
Yes. All the proceeds from this video are going to be going to the Toys for Tots Foundation. We're really excited about that. Check out the Patreon. We're going to be posting the full unedited interview on Patreon. So if you want to see our full conversation.
We're so excited.
Yeah, we're so excited.
Oh my God.
And I guess we're going to be doing some final checks and then we're going to be calling her and we'll show you what happens.
Jessie Flower.
Yeah, so wish us luck. Are you excited for this interview?
Very.
All right.
I can't wait.
Let's get it.
Let's go.
Listen up, Dunderheads! This video was brought to you by the incredible members of the Let's React Patreon. If you want access to a ton of exclusive perks, check out the link in the description below. Have a good day, Twinkle Toes!
Hello, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, we're good.
How are you?
Oh, doing well. You know, happy Tuesday. What day is it? Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Oh.
Days all kind of flowing together right now, but doing well.
Very much are. But it's so nice to meet you guys. Yeah, well, I'm happy that our paths crossed and you guys have such a fun channel and I love your Appa and all of your
Thank you.
videos.
He's
So great.
my absolute favorite. We're getting a dog soon and his name is going to be Appa, which is ironically kind of what started this entire thing.
What's led to meeting you, which is literally I cannot express to you, TOPH is actually in my top. Probably her and Zuko are at the top for me, but TOPH probably beats him because she's just the best.
I understand. I come late. He has a better character. I understand.
Hey.
The fact that TOPH came later than everyone and is still just so at the top of everyone's list. So for me, Appa is
Clearly.
You can't compete with this handsome man. He's just the best.
Argue he literally carries.
He carries.
The on his back.
Exactly. We would
if
be
Appa didn't
nowhere. We would be nowhere.
I mean, look at Appa's Lost Days. They were trapped. They couldn't go anywhere.
Exactly. But the second character that I found myself frequently saying, what in the world would we have done had we not had this character, was TOPH.
Yep.
How did we survive without TOPH?
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. And I think that often I'm like, hold on. They just gave this to her to figure out and she just fixed it.
They were like, we need this to be figured out.
Yeah.
TOPH ex machina.
She's exactly.
Literally.
Yeah. I wonder if there are tunnels in this mountain. Too bad we can see through the
We actually, this is a funny little thing. We want to show you, we actually prepared a little video of the moment Montana first saw TOPH and the moment that TOPH first metal bent. We want to show.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm so ready. I'm so small. Tiny.
She's tiny. She's so small. Wait. It's about listening.
Where they non-verbally explain to the audience that she can feel things.
Had no idea.
I love how Appa's present for all of these viewings.
Yeah, Appa's been here the whole time.
Yeah.
He's been a...
She listened. I adore her.
It was from second one.
She's so cool. I'm obsessed with TOPH.
This is my favorite scene. I would watch this over and over again as a kid.
It's very low-key but high-key moment.
Yep.
It's it's just 10 seconds and then she just figures out.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with her.
I mean, she's perfectly suited to figure it out.
Yes, she is. She's used to lots of time alone and just thinking to herself.
Yeah.
Just wanted to prove that we weren't fake.
Yeah, we're not
fans.
fake. That we
Genuinely are obsessed with her.
I believed you the second that reaction video started playing. I was like, oh, these people know. Okay, we're on the same level here.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh.
So just kind of behind the scenes of TOPH, when did you figure out kind of what TOPH's voice was going to be and like her intro to Avatar? What was that process like for you?
So this is like a broader, I don't know how big of an answer you want, but I'm going to give you a lot. So
go for it.
Please.
My experience as a performer, I feel like there are kind of two different types of performer, and sometimes they like mesh, but there are people who get hired because of just how they are, and they insert their personality into a bunch of different roles, and people just like how they are. And then there are people who completely transform themselves and just become somebody else every single time, it seems like, and it's just wildly impressive. And sometimes that goes back and forth depending on the actor. I feel like children can only do so much, and you kind of are what you are. You can't tell a 9-year-old to become a completely different person. I feel like just kind of how they are and who they act fits, or it doesn't. And you can either take direction well, or like have a lot of energy, maybe tone it down, have less energy. But I feel like the whole becoming a whole different person thing doesn't happen as often when you're younger. And so actually, I don't know, it was like a bit of a just happy circumstance. I was cast as Mang in season 1. Thick ponytailed chick who calls Aang a floozy. I mean, Katara a floozy, and has a crush on Aang. And whenever I came in that day, Giancarlo he's one of the directors, was in the booth or was rewatching the episode. I don't exactly remember the timing. He told me this year, because I did not know. They were talking about making TOPH Girl, and they're like, cool, like how will we do this? What would she look like? Like what's the vibe gonna be? And I came in, and apparently he was just like, that is the vibe we want for TOPH. And I was called back in to audition for it, and I was like, oh yay, they liked me. But I apparently was already kind of in the pocket. I did make her, obviously, a bit more, sassy, a little bit more just kind of tough, like on my just tougher days, as opposed to being like, yay! But yeah, that was kind of just a happy circumstance that I kind of fell into it. And, thankfully, I'd already been voice acting for about 5 years at that point when I booked Mang. So it wasn't like I just rolled up and was just like, oh, yay, here I am.
I just sound like the dream character. Yeah.
I was like accustomed to being in the studio and, adjusting, making little voice notes, stuff like that. And obviously, thank goodness I had a good, recording day, and I was like energetic, took directions well, because then they wanted to work with me again. So yay, Michaela, for being on point that day. But yeah, that's kind of how it happened. And I was, in Indiana visiting my grandparents at the time when they sent me the audition, and we had to drive like 30 minutes to the only recording studio, because back in 2005, you can just record on your iPhone.
You can't just.
So it's a whole different thing. So we went to this music studio and recorded this, 1-minute audition. And it's funny because my grandmother was actually like, well, who reads the other parts? I'm like, no one, Grandma. I read, this TOPH character and then go from line to line. She's like, why don't I read the boulder? And I was like, okay. So she came in the studio and recorded the boulder, and I recorded TOPH. And we sent that as the audition.
I'm surprised she didn't get cast, honestly.
Is that available anywhere on the internet?
I am so mad because things didn't save. He probably emailed it and then deleted it. It was just like a one-off. I know.
That's a tragedy.
The original TOPH voice with Boulder, come on.
With the Boulder as the grandmother.
Legendary.
That would have been phenomenal. Oh
I'd love to see it reanimated with the Boulder
being... as
Honestly, I don't know why they didn't color back. It's
honestly, it's a travesty.
Would have changed the whole game.
Oh, well, with that, so that is so cool, the way that just happened organically and you were just called in. So I was just wondering, so I'm actually a musical theater major at the school I go to, so I understand I've never done voiceover. I've always wanted to. But I'm just so impressed with your skills. And I was wondering, so the original design for TOPH was supposed to be the guy in the intro, the big, burly, huge guy. Did you take into account the original design when you were forming your vision for TOPH, or was it just cast aside?
I'm going to be completely candid with this one. There was no vision for TOPH. It was, okay, great. I read this audition script. Cool. She's a fighter. She's a tomboy. Oh, she's blind, whatever. Just glazed right over that because clearly that is not an issue.
No.
If anything, it's a strength. It definitely
is a strength.
Which is the coolest thing.
It just she has a sense of humor. Great. She's me on my sassiest day. Maybe when I haven't eaten yet. and I'm like ready to yell at somebody. Cool. So that was probably the most depth my 11-year-old self put into this audition tape. And from that point forward, it was, I mean, I feel like we overthink things as adults and as a woman. And at that point in time, I was like, cool, they liked it. I'll just keep doing that. End of thought, you know, like that was,
And it was so pure in that way.
Of course. Oh my gosh. They sent me the script. Sometimes I read it. Sometimes I didn't. And sometimes I would just show up to the booth and just be like, cool, these are my lines. And then like, that was the day. You know, I think it's
sorry, that's
a little bit of top stuck in
I
there.
just can't even, that's just fanboying
thing.
out. Sorry.
But I think that's like in the best way possible. That's why it wasn't acting, and I think that's why sometimes people love her and sometimes people are like, TOPH, what's the big deal? Because in a way there isn't too much, you know, there aren't layers to TOPH completely. There are a couple, you know, she's got some stuff hidden under, but for the most part she's completely transparent, all on the table. You know how she feels, you know what she wants to do, and you know how she feels about you. So it's, I think that's part of the charm, and that's part of the reason why it worked. Casting a kid, same thing with Zach, cast for Aang. He's just so pure. They're both very, very pure. The rest of them have a little bit more going on, and I think that casting was totally reflective. Everybody else was over 18 and going out to bars in LA, and you know,
that's
Zach,
so interesting.
Yeah, Zach and I were just kind of like, we have school, you know.
Oh wow!
For real. Like they can all vote, and you're just like working on.
I'm like, I'm gonna get some popcorn, and then I gotta go back like tomorrow at 7 a.m. for choir. You know, it's just.
Oh my god!
Oh, and yet you guys voiced the two most powerful characters in the show, hands down.
Phenomenal.
Like,
I mean, some might fight you with Azula, Zuko, interest, you know, some things there.
Get
but
out of here.
And we would fight back.
We would, sorry, it's not a fight when the obvious answer is there's a reason why Toph and Azula never got a showdown. It's because Toph would smack Azula, like literally, like.
You know, there have been a lot of interesting conversations with that one because it's hard. She does that one thing, you know, it's like trying to say like, oh, you know, I can tell when people are lying. And she's like, oh, wow, she's really good. So
yeah, I can't tell that Azula's lying.
That freaks me out a little bit because I think she fully gets into her head where she doesn't feel doing anything wrong or feel like she's lying or feel like she's taking advantage. So that might mess TOPH up, honestly, because
Azula, we never considered Azula's mind games. She could potentially be the one to actually get into Toph's head because nobody else really does.
Because she's completely closed off, and TOPH has kind of access to what everyone's thinking and feeling. I mean, like in every way. So.
Yeah. Oh wow.
That's so cool.
So okay, I'm sorry, this is just the coolest thing ever. I need to reiterate how amazing this is. So another question we have is this Avatar resurgence. There's been this huge uptake of just fans pouring into Avatar, old and new. Did you think this would happen? Like, did you think you'd make a show that's so timeless?
Yeah. Is there any thought that this could come back and be like a big thing? You know,
I don't think people know when they're working on something necessarily how, you know, popular it's going to be. And even in the moment, you know, 2007, 2008, a little bit of a different time. It's weird because it's only 12 years ago, but it feels like eons. It's just like
truly
so long ago. For how much technology and just lifestyle has changed. But everybody, I think, was kind of like, oh, whoa, this is really cool. People are watching this, it's doing things, awesome. The level of just like awareness and like how famous people get now just by like being on Netflix alone, it just was not the same. And so no way. We were just like, oh cool, we did a thing, and then it was over, and then conventions started being more popular, and so like Jack and Dante and myself like kind of started doing that again, and Ty Lee as well, and Greg Baldwin. Then this year we were like, oh great, yay, finally they're selling it to Netflix, because all these people who were like, where can I watch it? And we're like, Amazon Prime Kids, you can like rent it, or like, you know, I don't know, it's just like
that no one's gonna do that.
No one's doing that. So I was like, okay, well, yeah, you can watch it if you've already seen it. I don't know if they play it on Nickelodeon anymore. I have no idea. So I was like, oh great, now I can just tell people to go to Netflix. And then, you know, COVID was happening, and I was like, oh, well, this might change things. But it's to a level that no one expected. People are still interested in talking about it and like want to know more. And obviously I'm sitting around and like making things and doing things. So
That is the coolest sweatshirt I've ever
It's
seen, by the way.
fantastic.
you. And also, I'm very proud of this, but I'm glad I thought of it because I'm numbered 00.
Melon, you've got to be kidding me. Wait.
Are they numbered?
Wait. That is not a want, but a need.
I
we're
numbered
getting
them
that.
and signed them if you wanted.
Yes.
Please.
Okay,
That
so
is so cool.
they are sold out currently because
Of
I
course.
wasn't sure. So
Yeah, and why wouldn't they be?
well, because the other thing is it's very hit or miss. This whole like apparel thing, you just never know.
I understand. We made this one. It says tier bending master on it, and
Because I cried so much in the first season of
It's so funny.
Perpetual. Appa's Lost Days, I was dehydrated for like the week following.
it was.
Yes, that and Tales of Bossing Say both left me empty. Just
Oh,
completely empty.
Soul
Wow.
crushing.
Very sad. So
Truly.
yes,
For a kids show, like
more people have had a similar reaction and like, you must restock it. And I was like, okay, well, I'm moving in like 2 weeks, and then I can maybe rethink what I'm doing and where I'm doing it. Because it's obviously, as you probably know, can get very pricey if you're only like making 20. So you have to like make sure a good 100 or so at least people are interested. So I might do like a pre-order thing. I don't know, because there are lots of people who love this thing. So
it's really cool.
combination deal. So technically, yes, you can buy twinkle toe socks, and then like a portion that goes towards. I know, I was very excited because
That's like a
the
perfect. Like these
coolest
are. These are perfect marketing choices. I've just said, oh wow, we need to get these for sure.
Phenomenal.
So I saw that is this tied to the raising funds for Toys for Tots? We've been looking into that, and that's amazing.
Yes and no. I've got a lot of things going on, and I'm learning about marketing. So I created like a little Rockmas bundle that's specifically holiday themed, but technically all proceeds during December from the site, and then specifically the fundraising this Sunday, are going towards Toys for Tots. Donation charity of choice for December is Toys for Tots, and so like profits from Bandit Basics, a portion of that's going there, and then the fundraising event is like its separate thing, and everything that we raise on Sunday was going towards Toys for Tots.
We just wanted to let you know that we're actually all the proceeds that come from the video we're going to post on YouTube, we are actually going to donate for Toys for Tots as well.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Inspired and just
Okay,
want to
we love
contribute to that. So
Well,
love
that's
hearing
awesome.
that.
So about the show itself, are there any characters you wish you had more of an interaction with? I'm just wondering, we know about the whole Zuko.
Yeah, everyone, Toph wanted a Zuko adventure arc, and like, of course we did as well, but would that be your pick for Toph's adventure duo?
Sure. I think like she gets, her 2 seconds of, I don't know, heart to heart, I guess, with him,
Right.
like Ember Island players, when I'm like, oh, your uncle, like blah, blah, blah,
yeah.
is proud of you. Because I had tea with him during the chase, and then
That
circle
was
back
one of my
around.
favorite interactions.
That's
of
my
the
favorite
entire
Iroh
show.
moment in
I
the
am-
entire show.
So happy I got to have a one-on-one with Iroh. Who gets to do that aside from Zuko?
Yeah.
Like,
No one.
oh, actually, to answer your, I guess, earlier question, she never got a love adventure, really. And we didn't get
Yeah.
to see that develop. And that is a bummer. They're like, everybody else at least got like a second. Like Azula, Ty Lee, and May went to the party and like did that whole flirting thing. Zuko and May obviously have their moment. And then like Katara and Jet, and then Katara and Aang and Sokka and the Moon. And like everybody gets a little love situation. And I'm like, hello.
I think the closest you get is Suki, little kiss to Suki when she saves you in the
yeah.
water.
That's it. So yes, those 2 episodes are my favorites. Just kind of across the board. I really do like Chase. That was kind of this year when I like rewatched that, and I was like, ooh, that Iroh moment is really, really, really good. And I also just think at the end, she's gotten so comfortable with these people that she's jumping from airship to airship with Sokka. That's absurd. That's absolutely, and that's another key thing of like possibly her affection. She trusts him so much. So much.
The fact that she can't see a single thing other than the airships, and knowing that that's just
And knowing that when the thing I think of, two moments I think about. One is when they fall in the first airship, Sokka immediately covers her up. And I really love that moment where he's just so protective. And then later when, you know, the finger hold where they're barely holding on, where he's like, I think this is it. She could sense it. Like she could definitely be like, oh, wow, this really is it. Like, and I just can't imagine only feeling Sokka at that moment. She can't see anything except for feeling how hard Sokka's heart is beating. And that's just, that's so cool.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
Really
so scary, but really
it's so casually like animated, but it's like, oh no, this is like horrifying. Like, and he's over there hopping around with all his 4 elements. Cool. Yeah. This is terrifying. This is way scarier than this whole duel between those two, honestly.
Yeah, but love interest wise, I know that at the time when they're in the adventure group, Sokka and Toph, there's a big difference in their ages. But down the line, would you ever ship Taka? Would that be a thing you would consider, or?
I state this often. I'm a big. I don't want Suki to leave, but in an alternate universe, I do definitely think Taka it could exist and should exist. I think they're perfect like mirrors of types of humor. Sokka's just constantly slapstick and like very like corny, and she is very like dry. And I feel like they just balance each other out. So dry. That part is very accurate. I had to actually adjust my personal humor in college because it got so bad that people consistently just thought I was like stating a thought and like was not funny, and I was like, oh no, okay, we have to adjust something. I do not mean this.
Funny.
Yeah,
it's very bad. So yeah, that, you know, it's also just stems from the fact that I didn't get like a clear love narrative, and so part of me is like, come on, like that's the closest thing it came to. Right. Why wasn't that developed more? But also in like, you know, unfortunate, I guess also real life examples, I get why. She's very abrasive. What is her outfit? You know, it's just like a couple things. I mean, I love her, but she's like, she, you know,
she's not putting it together for the look.
Yeah.
No. And she
literally has dirt all over her.
She never claims to, you know, she never wants to, and that's great. But if we're going off of just like, you know, the very basic male mind, also like Suki's amazing. People love Suki. So why wouldn't you know, and she's got everything, quote unquote, and, you know, including the whole looks box checked off. So I get it. Like, I love her.
If Suki turned into the moon, then maybe.
Yes.
Then maybe.
If we had another one go up.
Just send them to the moon. But
no longer an option, not gone, but just undateable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it could. Yeah, I'm a Taka fan, but I don't hate Suki. I just think that it would be cute.
Gotta be clear about
I was in the same exact. We're in the same exact boat because Suki and Sokka are also perfect for each other. I think they both, Suki and Toph, both offer the same thing that honestly Montana offers me, which is, all right, big stupid boy, why don't you calm down a little bit and step off and be normal? Like literally, so I can understand how they would both kind of fit together. And then I was wondering, so Toph has some of, I would say, the best one-liners and the best nicknames and the best sort of moments in the show. Do you have a favorite moment of like Toph? It could be a little thing, it could be the whatever you think.
It changes. I like her all of the time, obviously. A few of my early favorites were like Tales of Ba Sing Se, followed closely by The Library, and then, you know, kind of the look, there it is. That's one of my favorite lines. And Tales of Ba Sing Se, where she gets to be a bit more soft, and
you
has
get to see her heart. Yeah.
Yes.
Such a phenomenal way to, like, I guess, change how an entire generation thinks and talks about disability, which was just phenomenal change for an entire group to, I mean, now children are experiencing it, but adults who experienced it as children are talking about how much Toph affected their perception of that, which is amazing.
First of all, yes, exactly. And there have been so many people who've reached out or that I've met at cons who are just like, she just changed everything, you know. I have my perspective on myself, how I interact with other people, you know, gave me more confidence just to function as like an even stronger person, like because of these things that like society or other people have said were like, you know, issues or hindrances, whatever. And I always like, I don't know, people are like, oh, like, is the voice actress blind? And I'm like, I'm not. And part of me like feels funny because they're like, oh, like, how are you speaking like, you know, on behalf of like a blind person? And I'm just like, well, the great thing about her is it's not disability. I mean, like, clearly it is. She cannot
but
see.
it makes her this
So much stronger.
She's so compared to every other earthbender she encounters.
It's the one example of it not being a story of she succeeded despite her thing. It's she succeeded because.
Yes, and that's what changes like the narrative. And I've been so grateful for the people who have commented, who, you know, can't see or who are about to not see and they're legally blind or something like that, and they're just like, you portrayed her so well. Like, I felt like I was very connected to her. I like understood where she was coming from. The jokes were great and also very like, I mean, Mike and Brian, man, like, just, they're, you know,
geniuses.
They're so talented.
Everything was just very like in well, just taste, you know. There wasn't anything that was egregious or anything like that. Yeah, so I've been thankful for the moments where people are like, I felt totally connected, like, you voiced her so well, and I'm just like, yay. I will say, I'm not claiming to be anything close to blind, but I do happen to have horrible eyesight without my contact. Everything is just a big like cloud of various color blobs. So there have been a few moments where I don't know like what Toph felt like waking up in the morning. I'm also curious if she ever dreamt and could like see. Like, what do dreams do?
See, that's so interesting because I'm a psych major, so I do a lot of studies into like whether or not people who are blind are able to see in their dreams, and it depends completely on the way that they went blind and if their like vision center is still intact and how that connection is. So it really differs per person. We don't really know with Toph, unfortunately. Yeah, no. That would be, I just want to know everything about Toph. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because there would be a couple times where I would forget about my, you know, contacts being in or something, and I would wake up and be like, I can see, and I was like, oh no.
Nope, not.
There's still people
slept in contacts.
Yeah.
Or people hold up things and they're like, hey, can you like check this out? And I'm like, what are you talking about?
I have no idea what
it sounds like a piece of paper. Oh, that was one of my favorite moments. The running gag of like, you take a look at this, be like, I still can't see, I'm blind.
Hello.
How many times do I have to tell you people?
Oh.
Yeah.
Right now, so we finished Avatar, I'd say about a month ago now.
Yeah, so we've started on Korra.
Yeah, we love Korra so far, and we're just about to reach the end of book 1, and we're still holding out hope that, so we haven't seen Toph, and we've seen Toph as like the police chief, which has been so cool. But we haven't seen her in person, but we're holding out hope that like Boomy and Kyoshi, they live a very long time.
Long lifespans,
so we're hoping we see her, but we try not to spoil anything, but we did.
We were informed that Toph has another daughter who you voice as a child later, so we are so excited to hear you reappear.
And what was it like going back?
Great. There's a lot of Beifong flashback scenes, like that's how I'm introduced, and there's like another little flashbacky moment. It's great. So yes, keep an eye out for young Suyin. Because she is a just as sassy and slightly more fashionable version of me.
Love that.
Slightly more fashionable.
Yes, she indeed can see. So she was very, put herself together. It was great. I got, I don't, call, email, something in, high school. Was my sophomore year or was it my junior year? It was my junior year. And basically they were like, hey, send over a voice sample. Like, we think we have this little like flashback scene and we'd love to just like see you again and like come in and say hi and, hang out for a second. So it was super fun, very surreal because, it'd been a few years and everything, had come out and I was like, wow, it's been a second. The last time I was in this room was like 3 years ago. So it was neat, but I mean, it was you will see, very in line. And I feel like Dante can't voice things without just sounding like Dante.
Dante is Dante. Whenever I hear him speak, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, no, we watched some of his interviews to prepare for this, so we knew a little bit more of what we were doing, but anything that man says, you're just like...
And his poetry, I'm just like, poetry Zuko? Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
poet Zuko. Yeah, so when he because I just started watching Korra this year as well, full disclosure, because I started watching it and then just never finished, and so finally like getting to it. And I think we heard his character come on and we're like, hold on, this sounds, what?
It's too much like Zuko.
Like that's
yeah.
Why didn't you just play what? I was like, yeah, it was funny. So I was like, you couldn't have changed it a little bit, Dante. But apparently he says this often. He's like, they say, like, I come in with something a little bit different. They're like, oh, can you go like a little bit lower? Like, can you just make it a little bit rockier? And then I just talk normally. And they're like, yeah, that's perfect. And I'm like, I tried to give you something else. You didn't want it. All right, fine. So yeah, it's funny. But I'm not as, similar as Zuko whenever, the voice comes back around. But if you watched the first series, you very much are like, wait, oh.
I can't wait for that
like
moment where it
Toph.
just hits. It's gonna hit a deep part of my brain and just be like, wait a minute.
Yeah, 100%.
She's back, the queen.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was very cool to get to come back and do that.
Do you keep up with the other actors on the show? Like
Now, because of this year and because I'm grown, I reached out because Zuko, Dante, oh my gosh, I call Jack, Sokka, they're all their names.
Jack also seems like a Sokka. I've seen a little bit of
really
him.
Strong vibes from everyone's characters.
Very much, like very, very much so. And honestly, yeah, Olivia is very similar to Tyler. There's lots of similarities for a lot of these characters. And yeah, this last year I started going to conventions a couple times just because they'd reached out, they were interested, and I was like, sure. And then like Jack was going, and so was Olivia. Like we were keeping a little like trio, and we were at a lot of similar ones. So I was like, cool. Reconnect with them because now I'm like, over 21 and like done with college. I'm an adult. Haha.
You're no longer the little baby of the group.
And yeah, so I can talk to them and say like, hey, like what's going on? And it's not weird. I'm still getting to like close friend status. I can't, go deep diving necessarily. We don't have full on heart to hearts, but hey, it's getting to that point. I'm excited for the day when that finally happens.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So cool.
Yeah.
And this year, specifically with Dante, because he's been doing the Friday streams through Honor Society and doing the fundraising thing, I've seen almost every weekend or, almost every Friday. And I did see him in New York last year when he was on his book tour, just because he was there. And I was like, hey, like, I was tough. Like, can I come say hi?
We had scenes together.
Back in the day.
we recorded things. And we ended up doing like a last minute, just surprise dual signing at this like comic shop in Midtown. He was just like, we should just do a signing together. Let's do a signing on Sunday. And I was like, okay. So
that's so awesome.
It was
anything like Zuko. So Zuko's like my second favorite character, and I just always wonder, like, I know his voice is always just like, yeah, I'm Zuko, like, but I wonder if he's like anything like him.
Yes. I would say that Dante and Jack are very, very similar. And that then like second tier of similarity would probably be like Olivia and myself, and a little bit of Gray, honestly. Gray is like actually really, really sweet and like well-intentioned, a very kind and loving mother. But she does have kind of she is kind of that sharp in just her like attitude. It's not mean, but like, I feel like she can just come in and just be like, hello. And
I've seen her TikToks and they're
iconic.
So
reading Trump, but as
reading Trump as Azula.
I didn't know.
So funny.
It's very
my gosh.
Yes, to answer your question directly, yes, Dante is very much kind of just roll with the tides and just kind of come into a space and he's just like, hey, I mean, and it's just very like,
hello,
very
Zuko here.
Yeah, he, gosh, love him. He, has his way with just being very flirtatious. He loves the ladies, loves having a good drink. He loves like company. And I think in the nicest way possible, Dante, if you end up seeing this or watching this, he's always chasing his honor and he likes to be liked in the show. And I think that's true in real life. It's not like he's begging for it, but he likes performing for an audience. He likes entertaining. And I think that's very similar to Zuko. So,
seems like he's like a late game Zuko. He's not the early. It seems like he's the enlightened Zuko.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, wow.
Zuko after Iroh gets through to him.
Yeah. Oh my
Right?
gosh. And
Exactly.
the last, wow. So that's actually,
Those are
that's all of our
all
questions.
the questions that we had prepared. Thank you so much
yeah,
for taking
we-
the time to sit down with us and do this. This has been so lovely. and just an
I'm never
absolute
gonna forget
dream
this.
come
This is
true.
literally,
Never.
I know. So we saw that you commented on her post. I feel embarrassed because literally when you became mutuals with us on TikTok, I
like,
literally ran
"Montana,
around the apartment. I
Guess who
could
just
not.
followed us back?
I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna talk to her. This is crazy. So thank you for dealing with our fanboyness and
I like it. I think it's great. I don't know, like some people are just like, oh, I hate when people are excited. It's too much attention. I'm like, no, it's like a reminder that people still like the show and love TOPH, and like who doesn't want to be reminded of that? Like,
oh.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and also I was looking, so I saw that you also sing, and I looked up, I saw a video of you doing Roxy from Chicago, and I was high-key impressed, gonna be real. I'm so excited to
Super great energy.
Yes.
Also, just like
I
need more of that.
same with you two, by the way. Like you're each
thank you.
individually and your dynamic, you guys are so fun to like watch and just
Thank you.
connect with, and like, yeah. And thank you for reaching out today. This was so much fun.
Oh my
Oh,
God,
absolutely.
thank you.
We are actually, I mean, this is
It's all
a
our
dream come
pleasure.
true. We have one final, and feel free to say no.
Yeah, totally no pressure.
We had this one little line. So our main way that our channel is able to keep going is we have a Patreon, which I'm sure you've heard of Patreon.
Yes.
And a big part of our way, like you said, we pay the bills is through the Patreon, and we always put a shout out screen for our Patreon members before every video. And we were wondering if you could possibly in TOPH voice read a little something we prepared to maybe start tagging on the videos.
Obviously, yes. Okay.
Oh, fantastic.
What's the line? Let me like.
Let me pull it
You can
out.
send it in the chat so you have it.
Okay,
Let me-
perfect.
Let us pull it up. You can do it. By the way, Montana helped prepare this whole interview. She's the professional one. I do the editing and
That's very similar to our dynamic over here as well.
Oh wow, yeah, it's kind of weird the similarities with the homeschooling and the
Yeah, for real. My background isn't, so I'm a psych major, but I'm going into like marketing, social media. Like that was my job
cool.
in college.
and if you want to make any changes or you don't like it,
Total
go for it.
creative
That was
freedom on your part.
Yep.
That's what we came up with.
I'm assuming, is it video or is it just audio?
It will be just audio. The video we'll put on this, the interview video, but it'll probably just be the audio over
Yeah, 'cause
the
what we do is we
shout out
post-
screens.
Yeah, we post screens with everyone's name on it if they're like a Patreon member. And while those screens are being shown, there's a voiceover thanking them for making it so that we can do this.
Yeah.
If I add
that'd be
on
really
like,
nice.
let's see, if I add on like a Twinkle Toes at the end, is that gonna be too long? Like, I don't know.
Add on anything
Do whatever
you
you
want.
want. Do whatever you want.
Literally anything.
Okay, great. Okay, cool. Let me make sure I'm saying all these words right. And it's just let's react, right?
Yep,
Mhm.
that's his
Okay.
last name.
That's what we were like. What should we name the channel? And Montana was like, "Let's react." And I was like, "That's great." And then I realized she's thinking long term here. This is. She said.
That long-term thought.
See, I've been laying the groundwork.
Yeah, I know. I probably should be. I don't know if it's like the vanity in me or if it's just because I'm so used to using my own name. But I've talked to him and I'm just like, I love your last name for like our Christmas cards and like our mailbox one day. I don't know if I'm changing it for me as an actress.
Yeah, well, and you also have it established, like.
I know you don't. He's like, I don't want you to. I was like, I know, but like part of me kind of was like, oh yeah, like the name change. I like his last name. His last name is Rios, and so like Michaela Rios, it's kind
Ooh.
of cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, that flows well. Yeah.
It does, but then also I lose Michaela Murphy. I love the alliteration of it.
That
And
also flows. That's
Yeah.
just too.
Michaela
yeah.
Jo Murphy is so Irish and like, you know, drawn. I don't know. So yeah, we'll see.
Would you want us to refer to in the video as Jessie Flower or Michaela? What?
I usually just refer to myself as Jessie for like signings and things, but I'm trying to transition. So by all means, like refer to me as Michaela, because then people will be like, wait, I thought it was Jessie. And then they can like go and see that like,
Yes.
Or we can say Michaela Murphy, aka Jessie Flowers, known as
Yeah.
Queen TOPH BEIFONG herself.
TOPH BEIFONG. Yeah, so that works because definitely
Okay,
all of
perfect.
my social things are Michaela. So like if people start Googling Jessie.
Perfect.
Then-
Okay, we'll go with Michaela.
amazing.
Wonderful.
So
All right, time to record.
Oh boy.
Let me make sure I'm like close enough here to my little computer microphone. Okay. Let's see.
Listen up, Dunderheads. This video was brought to you by the incredible members of the Let's React Patreon. If you want access to a ton of exclusive perks, check out the link in the description below. Have a good day, Twinkle Toes.
I am in another dimension. I've been sent into orbit.
that's phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness.
You are incredible. And
Yes. You guys, when I get there, I'm gonna be like, I must credit the Let's React duo for my
yes, we will.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Happy Tuesday. Happy holidays. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to go eat something.
All right.
Perfect.
Same here. All right.
Sounds fantastic. Have a safe and healthy, happy holidays and a good move.
Thank you. Yes. Got to start preparing for that right now.
Yeah, coming from people who
moving is
we
so
just
much.
moved, but once you get there, it's so worth it. So
yeah.
I'm excited. Very
good
excited.
luck, and we'll
Thank you so much.
be
Very
texting
best
you.
of luck. Thanks again so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye. You too.
Bye. That just freaking happened. We just talked to
Michaela Murphy.
Michaela
We just talked
Murphy.
to Michaela Murphy for an hour and a half.
Thank you for watching. That was supposed to be 15 minutes, but we just
She just
we cannot believe that happened. And Jessie,
like the coolest
Michaela, we
person.
know you're probably watching this. Thank you
We love
so
you.
much,
You're the best.
and we'll be in contact. And make sure to donate for Toys for Tots.
Yes.
Link in the description for their site, and all proceeds from this video are going to be going to that.
Yeah.
And make sure to check out all of Michaela's socials. They're going to be linked down below.
Yes.
And
She's moving, which is very exciting, to LA, working on some new projects. So a lot up and coming from her. You should definitely follow her on her Instagram and TikTok, which are linked. Any other socials will be posted as well. You should definitely go check that out.
go interact with her TikTok. Go do just like, let's show her a bunch of support. Flutter with support. Just go support her. She is amazing. From
So
even the
cool
hour and a
and
half
so
ago. Oh my
kind
gosh,
and
she
just-
seems so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for watching. As usual, thank you for coming by, and check out the Patreon. We're gonna be posting the full unedited interview on Patreon. So if you want to see our full conversation, go check that
And
out.
she's so cool, you guys.
Guys, oh my gosh, she's the coolest.
Literally.
Literally, I cannot believe that just happened. Like and subscribe down below for reaction content every Thursday and Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, let's get it.
Let's go.
All right, that's it. Okay.